We have some new board members that this is their very first meeting. I'm asking all of the new board members to come down to the first 4 rows up here so that when we start the board business, we would know that you guys are people that we should be talking to if we have questions. Does this sound a little better? It is 6:55. I'm going to start the meeting. We was trying to wait because we didn't have quorum, and a lot of people went to 127 Pennsylvania Avenue instead of coming to 276 Chestnut. So our apologies for any mix-up. I know last month I said it at the last general board meeting, and I know the district office also called people, and they sent yesterday through that blast the information of the meeting happening here. So we're going to go on with our business. I want to welcome everyone again. I'm the proud chair of Community Board 5. I'm on this side of the room. Do we have any elected officials here yet? Yeah. Okay. Can somebody actually to pass us the elected officials list? Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Chappelle. Ms. Davis, you want to come and speak? Y'all have to excuse we don't have our CB5 tablecloth, but we got our CB5 mic, so y'all know we're in the building. CB5. Follow us on Instagram, YouTube, Instagram, CB5-ENY. The Johnsons have been doing a remarkable job for free, recording each and every one of our meetings. You know, I want to give homage to them and give honor to them for them doing this so that this way people across Brooklyn can see what it is that we're doing. For transparency, they can see what it is that we're doing, how we're fighting for this community, and that we're not green lighting just anything and everything. The Johnsons also record a lot of our committee meetings, and I'm going to say it again, for free. I love them. They're great community partners, and I want to say thank you, thank you,
thank you,
and we appreciate you from the community.
Yes.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Karen Davis, and I'm a constituent liaison to Santa Roxanne Prasad. I'm just here to give you some updates of the event that she's going to be hosting. Everything that she hosts is free to everybody. And she's having a webinar on nutrition and economic wellness fair. It will be this Saturday, at Brooklyn Sports Club. So it's not a webinar, actually. It's at the Brooklyn Sports Club. It's going to be certain people with SNAP work requirements, the eligibility, the job readiness resources, resume writing, assistance, self-care and fun activity, along with food distribution. In case anybody didn't know, she hosted a e-waste and shredding event last night. It was a really big success, so she decided to do it again July the 17th. This is a Friday from 9 to 12. The traffic will be there. Once it's full, it's going to leave. It's going to be hosted at her office, which is 1222 East 96th Street in Brooklyn, New York. And you don't have to register, you just come, bring your passes that you know you need, electrical stuff, as well as paper. You don't have a limit on how much you could bring, but you bring as much as you can, just give them that job. And we have a food distribution also in East New York, closely covered by the shopping center there at the East New York Psychotherapy Conference Center. We're going to have a lot of vendors there also and food. You could call the office for any assistance you might need with housing, the electrical bills. Right now, that recruiting system opening that you could call to get how to apply. Our phone number is 718-649-7653. Again, 718-649-7653. And these flyers are available at the front office. Anybody wants any additional information, you can get it there. Thanks for having me. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Don Alexander, from CB Nurse's Office, City Councilwoman.
Hello, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for being here with you all for the minutes of that CB5 meeting. My name is Don Alexander, Director of Community Engagement for Councilmember Sandy Nurse, District 37. I just want to go over a few services that we have in our office as usual, and then one announcement the council member wants to make. She was going to be here, but she had prior engagement that wouldn't allow her to come over into the district and make it on time. But she was at 127 Penn. Confirm that. But real quick, today, if you missed it, we did a funding Q&A for New York City discretionary funding. That was done with JCCGCI. I don't know who the other levels are, nonprofit help desk. But if you want any briefing as a nonprofit on how to get funded, please reach out to our office and we can assist you. We got a housing clinic every first and third Thursday of the month from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. That's at our office, 56 Pennsylvania Avenue. We got free immigration services. That's at 276 Chestnut. That's happening right here in this building. Every Tuesday, 9:30 to 5. So y'all really know where it's at, come get your services. Monthly veteran clinic happening every third Wednesday of the month. Is at our office again, 10 to 5. If you're a veteran, please come get some help. We even have senior service clinic for all of our seniors. Helping about home care services, insurance and benefit counsels, housing application assistance, community program referrals, and more. That's at our office every second and fourth Thursday of the month. Lastly, we got HPD coming into the district, but this is later in the year, September, October, November. I'll be bringing this back up as we get closer to those dates. But these usually around the time where it's cold, a lot of frozen pipes, leaks, things of that sort. So we're going to make sure we have HPD right in the district so we can address things directly. Lastly, from City Hall, they passed a new law that requires all landlords to put notice in the building if there's one or more rent-stabilized apartment. So if you know you live in a building with a rent-stabilized apartment and these signs are not up there, you can make a complaint or you can reach out and make sure that gets done. I just want y'all to see what it looks like. I have some printed out. We'll put them up there in the back. If you know anyone that needs one, check it out. Once again, family, Don Bob Alexander, Councilmember Nurse Office. If we need any help with any debit cards, illegal dumping, broken street signs, I saw that there was like a sinkhole happening on Flatlands. We're going to run the internet, we're going to take care of that. If we need help with a one-shot deal, any HRA, HPD, NYCHA, Section 8 vouchers, anything of that sort, please reach out to our office. We do a good job. I'm going to give you my number directly. Y'all ready? 646-856-4343. That's 646-856-4343. Most of these faces look familiar, but if you're new here, you're going to need my number one day. So if we didn't grab it, catch me at the next meeting. I love y'all.
Before I welcome the new board members, I'm going to welcome this young lady from the Borough President's Office, Ms. Caroline Church, who's the director from Borough Board. So in regards to Mr. Reynoso.
Good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here with you once again. CB5 is my favorite board. Yeah, but there's always really good energy at these meetings, so I do enjoy coming here. I am Caroline Church, Director of Community Boards, under the leadership of our Brooklyn Borough President, Antonio Reynoso. First off, I just want to welcome the new members. Onto the board, you have taken up a very serious responsibility to your community. And to fulfill that, you really do need to come to the meetings. And that goes for the existing members as well. You need to attend meetings. If you're not attending meetings, you're not serving your community, even if you have great intentions. So I ask everyone, please, attend the meetings. And if you're not on the board, you should still attend the meetings regularly, because this is where the business of your community happens. And if you're not engaged, then anything can happen. You are the eyes and ears of your community. So show up, come to these hearings, make sure you're getting all the emails, and just be part of the community. So just a couple quick announcements. Today we actually hosted a men's mental health symposium. And that was an all-day activity. Sorry, I'm not telling you about it, but I'm sure you heard about it last month. For the educators and parents in the room, we're hosting a graduation awards event from pre-K to 12th grade. So even if your little one is just beginning their educational journey, we have nomination forms. I left lots of information in the back. You can grab that flyer. But the deadline is fast approaching. It's going to be June 1st. But you can still grab it and put that application in. Again, for parents and educators, we are inviting youth to join our Youth Advisory Council. Incoming high school sophomores, juniors, and seniors can apply to the council. Applications close June 8th. So get with it. And you know, what we've done is we've created a schedule for ULURP meetings, ULURP hearings, because when they happen, people don't know when they're going to happen. So now they're going to happen on every second Wednesday, once there's a meeting. So again, there's a flyer in the back regarding that. And we're very concerned about what's happening with the SNAP benefits. We've created a resource guide that can be found on our website. So please, if you know anyone, it doesn't have to be you. All information is to be shared, right? So if you're coming here, I know you're sharing information. If you want some information that's easily accessible about what's happening with SNAP, do visit our website, brooklynbp.nyc.gov. And we do offer constituent services. You can call us. There's always someone picking up the phone during business hours, 718-802-3700, or you can visit us on Wednesdays for in-person appointment. 718-802-3700, and our website is www.brooklynbp.nyc.gov. And for the new members, again, my name is Karen Church. If you have any questions about your membership, feel free to reach out. If you want to know when your next board meeting is, that's not me, that's the district office. See you around.
Thank you, Carolyn, and send our regards to Mr. Reynoso.
I show up. Thank
Okay. I would like to ask Mr. Michael Johnson to come downstairs. Mr. Johnson took over Cypress Hills LDC from Michelle, and they were gracious enough to allow us to use their space so that we can have our meeting tonight. So I just want to present him to some of you. A lot of you already know him, so he can tell you a little bit about himself and Cypress Hill LDC.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening. Good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. Michael Johnson. I'm the new exec director of Cypress Hills Local Development Corporation. You know, it's funny. Harold Green. Everyone know Harold Green? Who's our chair emeritus. He had indicated that he looked all across the country to look for the next exec director of Cypress Hills Local Development Corporation. I was in Bed-Stuy, so literally it was in the neighborhood. The reason why I mention that is because while you can sort of look at my background and resume, I've worked in every space that you can imagine in government within 20 plus years, multiple administrations in city government, finance, banking, philanthropy, development. I think what is more important and more pressing about being in this role is that I know community and I believe in community. I grew up in Bed-Stuy. I actually grew up in Marcy houses, and that experience, that lived experience, really pressed upon me about why it's so important to give back and be supportive of the people that also have been giving back to this community. And so I've only been here since February, and I'm so excited about the opportunity to get to know you all, to get to really get to understand the pressing matters that are impacting Community Board 5 and East New York community. I think one of the things that people have asked me is like, what is my priority, what is my vision, what do I see for Cypress Hills? You've already seen it over the 41 years, and I want to let's give an applause to Michelle Riverbound. She's not here. You know why she's not here? Because she's officially retired. She deserves to be retired after 41 years. And so the reality is that we do stand on the shoulders of people like Michelle, the people who have been working at Cypress Hills for the many 40 years, and with you all who have been pushing, advocating, really making us accountable, right? Because while we are a local development corporation and we do a lot of services for the community, we can do nothing and be nothing without you all. And so we are in many ways connected and tied together. And so it's my goal, really a vision for me, is to continue that growth, but continue that growth, what I'm calling compassionate growth. Not a growth designed to grow for growth's sake, but to grow in a way that's inclusive, that continues to build what the DNA of this organization was built around 41 years ago, when, by the way, people were disinvesting in it. Now, of course, the tides have changed, and it's now about how do we sustain and preserve while this development activity is going on. And so I want to say I am just humbled, excited, and very appreciative of the community board. It's not the last time you're going to see me. I I hope I get invited back. And by the way, I'll end with this. I'm a big believer that when you, I treat this like my house. This is my home. So I see a piece of paper on the floor, I pick it up. If I see something that I don't like, I try to deal with it. I have amazing staff that take care of business. But like being a home, you guys are my guests. And so I know you've been welcome here before and you've come here many times, but I really want to officially welcome you because I am so happy that you took the time out to be a part of this community, to be a part of our organization, and welcome to our house where we will engage, have many conversations, many debates, and then obviously go through some points of action and resolution. So thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of the evening.
Before I go into the community voices, I would like to introduce the executive board members on the day. So I'm starting with my father.
Charles Bullock, second vice chair.
Wilfredo Florentino, compliance chair.
Miguel Feliciano, first chair.
Will Johnson, sergeant at arms. And yours truly, Alice Loman, the chairwoman. We're going to start with the community voices, and then we will call this meeting to order. And then we have one presentation and I think 2 voting items. So with that being said, the compliance officer, Mr. Wilfredo Florentino, will call the meeting to community voices.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'll be calling out the names. You have 2 minutes. And 2 minutes only. 2 minutes and 2 minutes only. I call your name, come right on up. First on the list, we have Haley Kim. Haley Kim, come on down, let's welcome her.
Good evening, CB5. How are we today? Ooh, we're energy. How are we today? Thank you. So, my name is Haley Kim, and I'm speaking as Director of Community Organizing here at Cypress Hills Local Development Corporation today. So, how many of us here today know that there is an election on June 23rd? How many of us are planning on voting for this? Awesome. How many of you have gotten a little sheet from me pledging to vote? Okay. If you have not, and if you're interested in voting, not one politician is going to solve any one issue, but making sure that we vote and making sure that we vote for people who reflect our values will get us closer to where we want to be. So, if that is not a pitch to go out and vote June 23rd, I don't know what it is. And also, very quickly, how many of you feel like your rent is too high or your property taxes are too high? Yep. So, Monday, June 15th, at 2966 Wilton Street, we have a housing justice meeting where we're going to start talking about the new program that we're going to come up with together to lower property taxes and lower rents. So if you're interested, we have a little flyer. It looks like this in the front. So please join us. We would love to see you all there, and I really appreciate your visit. Thank you.
Next we have Charles Bullock. Charles Bullock.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Charles Bullock, second vice chairman of Community Board Number 5. I'm a 21-year carpenter, certified shop steward, and I'm owner of Shades of the Trades Mentorship and Leadership nonprofit. And I came to give you guys some information. You can also get the info session dates in the back. I left some paperwork. So on June 10th, they're having another recruitment. It's every second Wednesday of the month. The address is, you can write this down, 395 Hudson Street on the second floor, Clarkston Street entrance. The phone number is 212-727-2224. So the requirements to become an apprentice, you have to be 18 years old, high school diploma, GED. You also have to pass the drug test. So all our young men and women in our communities who smoke, you have to give it a break and sign up for the Carpenters Union because you might have the opportunity to get $100K a year or more, have dental benefits, medical benefits, pensions, 401Ks, things that you need in life. So that's my passion, is to bridge the gap between the community and the union so we can have opportunities right here in the community, empowerment of the middle class. We also have a retired plumber that comes to this meeting a lot of times. His name is Harvey. He left some information about the Plumbers Union, another 6-figure job. The recruitment is June 8th, and that's going to be in Long Island City at 8 a.m. But he also left the information for the Plumbers Union. Great opportunity, 6-figure job once you finish the apprenticeship. I became a homeowner behind the apprenticeship, and that gives me the passion to see someone else get the same opportunity I had. So thank you for listening. Okay, the number for the Carpenters Union is 212-727-2224. Yep.
Thank you, Mr. Bullock. Next we have Johnny Rivera. Johnny Rivera.
Hi, thank you for allowing me to speak. I want to say this is what democracy looks like, local. It's not always clean and beautiful, but it is working together for the benefit of the community. So thank you, board members. I am a tenant organizer for Build Up Justice NYC. We provide a myriad of services. Because I only have 2 minutes, I only want to tell you about one program. And that is, a lot of nice buildings come up, a lot of old buildings remain, but there's an abuse going on with tenants, by landlords, by not making repairs, by looking at ways to cut back, by looking at ways to raise the rent. And I ask you, as liaison to community and community groups, to please let us know so that we can help organize tenants to fight back. Because tenants have a right to live in a clean, safe environment with repairs done. And we don't want to hear it about the rent. The rent is getting paid, and that was the contract. And if you can't handle that business, then you shouldn't be a landlord. But that's a different story. So folks, help us help other people who are suffering behind nice-looking facades all around you, here and there, but they're quiet. And my biggest challenge is not always the landlord, it's the tenant mindset. Are they entitled to legal representation for free? Are they entitled to have a decent place to live? Are they entitled? And most of the time they wonder and they don't think so. So you might find that surprising, but I see that every day. So folks, help me out. I'm gonna leave a flyer. It describes a little bit more about our services, but there's a picture back there. And it's a little bit of me when I was a little huskier than today. So I'll leave it back there. Do not use it as a dartboard. I'm serious about that one. And give us a call. Let us know how we can be of service. Thank you so much. Another minute?
Yes.
Oh my God! Let me see if I can tap dance. All right, forget it. It's not a good thing, but Carpenters Union guy. I was once a Carpenters Union rep for a summer while I was in college. Thank you. And I made great money, hard work. And to all of you, look, you acquire information. And I know you're here for you. Right? It's exciting. You get to meet friends. I was a former community board member myself in East Harlem. But we do need you to continue to be conduits, to think about reaching out. That information is not going to get out there. And you sitting here and hogging up that information just because you enjoy it like I would, it's not enough. So I really ask you and beg of you to please share this information. We have great opportunities. This is a beautiful building, but you are the catalyst for change. So thank you.
Thank you so much. And lastly, we have Laura Johnson. Laura Johnson, calm down. Let's welcome her, please. I love you, Ms. Johnson, so I love Ms. Johnson now.
Hi, good evening. I've been waiting 2 minutes. I'm Lala Johnson. I just have 2 questions. First question, we have enough culinary businesses in East New York alone, micro and small. So I want to know what's happening with the entrepreneur kitchen on Pennsylvania Avenue for them so they can use that space. Second question, what do black contractors have to do to get some work on here? Right, go ahead.
Thank you for those questions. We're going to go into our regular board business. So we're calling the meeting to order, and we're going to now do the board members roll call. The compliance officer will do the roll call, and I would like to welcome each and every one of you, especially the new board members. Let's get them in here. Thank you for taking on the civic duty. Thank you for being engaged in your community. Thank you for coming out to the board meeting, so we have quorum tonight. And that is something we definitely need. We need you to come out when you're supposed to. The general board meeting on the 4th Wednesday of every month. Whether they call you, text you, or if you get a text from me, mark your calendars. It is your civic duty. This is a responsibility of yours. You signed up for it. We are all adults. So please, ma'am, please, sir, please be where you're supposed to be on the dates and times that you should be. We have our executive board meeting, which is the 4th Wednesday of every month. If you're a co-chair, you're expected to lead by an example. And if you're not going to lead by example, I don't mean to sound harsh, but you will be removed from being a co-chair. And you can be a regular board member. So that this way, when we need to move things, move actions, and vote on things to come out of the executive board meeting, we can do so. And if you're not going to be responsible and be serious like we are, then you're going to be removed. Also, 3 meetings, 3 general board meetings, and you don't come. We're not going to wait like we did last time. You're going to be removed as per our bylaw. Most of us work. It is a commitment. You signed up for it. You raised your hand. You got sworn in. Right, Carolyn? Well, the ones of us that was here already, we already got sworn in. You know, so I'm just asking, please take this work serious. Please, I take it serious. Everybody know I work for New York City Transit. I take my own time to go to meetings, borough board, everywhere. Before I go to work, after I go to work, or I change my schedule and work 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. so that I can be at these meetings. So I'm just asking, please, ma'am, please, sir, let's take this commitment serious and let's come to the board meeting. Okay? The best board. Caroline Church, CB5 is the
Madam Chair. Once you give your name, please acknowledge. Alyssa Abernathy. Here. Thank you. Deborah Ack.
Board Member Deborah Ack, present.
Alfred Adams. Present. Thank you. Amelia Allen. Shawnee Bell. Nydia Bonifant.
Board Member present.
Thank you. Alton Brown. Charles Bullock. Thank you. Marissa Cameron. Natasha Sherry Perez.
Here.
Thank you. Ethel Coates.
Here.
Thank you. Dwayne Faison. Thank you. Miguel Feliciano.
Present.
Gracias. Nancy Sills Amen.
Present.
Thank you. My apologies in advance for the new board members. I may butcher your name this first time. Thank you, Ms. Nancy. Anna Fisher.
Board Member Fisher here.
Thank you. Wilfredo Florentino, present. Elise Fox. Jessica Franco. Odessa Finn. Aura Goodwin. Andrea Granville. Thank you. Sharon Britton. Thank you. Michael Roche. Jimmy Giddy. Danielle Hendricks. Khairul Islam. Welcome. Suzanne Jacobs. Ro Johnson. Thank you. Grace Jones Roberts. Thank you, Ms. Roberts. Darren Linson.
Sorry, present.
Chair Loman.
Present.
Andrada Mitchell. Thank you. Andre Mitchell. Man. Thank you, sir. Judith Narain. Jade Nieves Calderon. Kelly Pierre. Thank you, sir. Evelyn Pugh. Wilma Rivera. Thank you. Boris Santos. Thank you, sir. Albert Scott Jr. Isaiah Thomas. Paul Muhammad. Luz Torres. Emily Walker. Thank you. Monique Wallace.
Board Member Monique Wallace, present.
Thank you. Gina Watson. Hazel Worley. Thank you, Ms. Worley. Madam Chair, we have quorum with 30.
Thank you. Thank you everyone for taking the time coming out so that we can achieve our quality. Thank you. I'll entertain a motion for the approval of the agenda for May 27th, 2026. Ms. Anna Fisher, make motion, and second by Mr. Miguel Feliciano. Any questions? To the approval of the agenda, any corrections? Second, I'll ask for a motion to approve the minutes from April 22nd, 2026.
Make a motion that we approve the minutes by April 27th.
That is the act, and second by Ro Johnson. Second. Thank you. All in favor? Any opposed? So, we have a presentation now by New City Department of Transportation on Linden Boulevard traffic safety and bus priority improvement. You guys can come forward. The presentation should be in your folders. And they have extra copies if you need one. Just raise your hand and we can give it to you.
Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me? How y'all doing tonight? Thank you so much for having us. My name is Dustin from here at CB DOT. I'm joined by my colleague, Mr.J, Rodney. So we're here to present the Lincoln Boulevard project, which is the bus priority improvement project. This is a major project to help improve pedestrian safety and bus service along Lincoln Boulevard. We presented this project to the CB5 Transportation Committee last month, so now we want to make sure that we present the details of this project to you all tonight. All right, so just for some context, why are we studying improvements for Lincoln Boulevard? This is a 1 mile stretch from Mountain Avenue to Congress Avenue, which is a critical bus corridor and overall transportation corridor in the Brooklyn community. There are 5 bus routes serving 60,000 daily bus riders between Brooklyn and Queens along this route. Most households in this area do not own a car, and there's very little access to the subway. So bus service is critical to the transportation of this neighborhood. Linden Boulevard bus routes also provide access to the A, C, J, Z, L, and 3, as well as access to JFK Airport, Brookdale Hospital, and Gateway Center. Bus speeds here are very slow. At the slowest points can be 4 miles per hour. And there's been a history of community requests for safety improvements along this stretch. As you may be aware, it is a very, very wide highway-like street with 10 lanes across Linden Boulevard, making very long crossing distances. It's very difficult to cross the street here. Because it's so wide, there's a lot of speeding and reckless driving. So we want to take a fresh look at how to improve the pedestrian experience, to improve safety for the community members, as well as improve bus speeds so that people can get to work and to get home safely and more efficiently. So I'll just briefly go over some of the previous work that DOT has done on Linden Boulevard. We previously created corridor-wide markings upgrades to reduce the speed and calm traffic along the street. That's from Avenue D to 79th Street. We've also added channelization to the service roads, changed Hedgeman Way Avenue to one-way, marked parking lane lines, and reversed the direction of Van Sinderen Avenue. We've made a number of intersection improvements to enhance pedestrian safety. Those locations include Linden Boulevard with Euclid Avenue, Elder Lane, and Drew Street. We've also done some bike and pedestrian safety improvements on Loring Avenue between Fountain Street to Emerald Street and Fountain Avenue from Seaview to Pitkin Avenue. So for the purposes of this safety and bus improvement project, we've done some work up to date dating back to October 2024. We joined HPD in a dual streets open house to listen to community concerns, to see what the community is looking to be improved from the transportation aspect. In January of 2025, we presented to the 345 Transportation Committee on just existing conditions to hear more of those concerns to incorporate into improvements into this project. We have talked to the elected officials in this area to also discussed the existing conditions and challenges. We've also talked to joint stakeholders on existing conditions, and that was back in 2025. So just last month, in April 2026, we presented this presentation I'm giving today to the Community Board 5 Transportation Committee, and we want to continue this conversation at the full board meeting tonight. So things that we've heard so far since October 2024, there is a need for improved connectivity for all roadway users of Linden Boulevard. Many people reported having to walk or drive several blocks out of the way just to get across the street. So that's a main concern for these really long blocks. Linden Boulevard is difficult and dangerous to cross. There are frequent calls for additional crosswalks and longer crossing times to be able to cross the street safely. And bus service is slow and unreliable. Riders have reported slow bus service and long wait times, particularly on nights and weekends. So this is all the feedback that we've gathered since 2024 to help come up with the proposal that we have tonight. And just a quick update on the HPD Jewel Streets Neighborhood Plan. So this was released in 2025. DOT is working with HPD to coordinate very closely on that neighborhood plan. One of the goals in the plan is to make streets safer and better connected. So this is where this project comes in to improve Linden Boulevard. There are three of the strategies that were identified in the plan that will make it safer and easier for pedestrians to get around, make it easier to reach key places in New York City by transit, and also to implement planned investments along Linden Boulevard. So this project incorporates those strategies to meet those neighborhood plan goals. The key issues that were identified in the plan include, as I mentioned, a really wide roadway. There are 10 travel lanes along Linden Boulevard. It's difficult to cross the street. There are very few crosswalks, and there's limited street lighting. Now we're going to talk about the existing conditions on the corridor, just to set the stage of what the roadway looks like today and what we're working to improve. So today is a very wide road, as I mentioned, 10 lanes with 140 feet in curve to curve, and there's frequent speeding and reckless driving and weaving from drivers. The Linden Boulevard is split into the main line and the service road, and buses run along the local service road, which often gets stuck behind double parked vehicles, making for slow and unreliable bus service. But crosswalks also are very far apart, on average 1,200 feet, which is about 5 city blocks. And these wide distances between crosswalks encourage pedestrians to cross between intersections, which create unsafe conditions for pedestrians and drivers. I'll briefly go over the demographics of the project area. So 34,000 residents live within census tracts bordering the Linden Boulevard corridor within the project area. The majority of residents depend on transit, but there's no subway access within walking distance. Nearly 2/3 of residents commute to work via public transit, walking, or biking. More than half of households do not have access to a private vehicle, so we really depend on high-quality public transit in order to get to work and to get home. The average commute time for residents in this area is 46 minutes, which is longer than the citywide average of 40 minutes. So, as I've been mentioning, safety is a huge component to the need for improvements along Linden Boulevard. Is a huge driver for us to improve the quality of life for people using Linden Boulevard. I'll just go over some quick crash statistics. So Linden Boulevard is a Division 0 priority corridor, meaning it's identified as a need for safety improvements. Between 2019 and 2023, there have been 330 injuries along the corridor. That's averaging one person injured every 6 days. Between 2019 and 2023, there have been 13 people severely injured and 2 people killed. The intersection of Linden Boulevard and Euclid Avenue is a priority intersection for targeted safety improvements. And this entire area is also a priority youth injury area, meaning there have been a high number of youth that have been affected by crashes. So now I'll really hand it over to my MTA colleague, Gabe, to talk about existing bus speeds along the corridor.
Thank you very much. Again, I'm Gabe Mizrahi. I work for the MTA, one of the Brooklyn bus plans. I also went to Pennsylvania Avenue, or almost went there today. And I have to say, this is about as different as a room as you can get as that transportation committee room. So, yeah, great space. Thanks for having me. Yeah, so this is just here on, we're on page 11 for the packet copy too. These are just two maps of, on average, between each bus stop, how fast the bus goes at the in the AM and PM peak periods. For those of you who were at the last presentation, not the presentation a couple months ago, but when we were here over a year ago, I replaced these maps and it's actually worse, unfortunately, the speeds. As Dustin was mentioning, speeds can be as low as 4 miles per hour in some sections. That's, you know, that's a brisk walk. So it can be literally true that you can sometimes walk faster than the bus, unfortunately. You know, and buses are, of course, blocked by traffic congestion. This is all on the service road now, by the way. Double parking, commercial vehicles, you know, depending on how courteously someone double parks, a bus may or may not be able to actually get around it, and then it just has to wait and honk. So, yeah, and you can see, you know, the speeds are, as you would expect, worse on the western end, closer to Fountain, where there is a bit more turning activity, commercial activity. And when you get towards the conduit, it's a bit more straightforward as to how that all works. But yeah, certainly trying to put in the bus lanes in the main road. You're a lot less susceptible to being blocked by double parked cars. People don't tend to just leave their car on the main road from the boulevard. Not saying it doesn't happen, but it happens certainly less often than the service road. So that would certainly be an improvement. I will hand it back to Dustin, but I'll be back to talk about bus routes later.
Great, thanks, Dave. Alright, so now if we turn to page 13, I'll start talking about the proposed design that we've come up with. So this is just a summary of the proposed design, but I can go block by block to walk you through all the improvements that we're proposing. But essentially, the set of improvements that we're proposing for Lincoln Boulevard is new median bus lanes from Fountain Avenue to Conduit Avenue. These new median running bus lanes will include new median bus boarding islands that create accessible bus stops. We'll be citing bus shelters where feasible. But the bus stops will also be consolidated to make buses faster and more reliable from 16 stops to 8. There would be there's going to be one new intersection and 2 new pedestrian crossings to help create safer places to cross the street and also to connect the neighborhood between north and south better. There will also be slip lane adjustments to simplify traffic movements and reduce weaving and speeding that we've identified in the data. All right, so now I'll walk you through block by block on the design improvements. There's a lot of information to digest here, so we can go over any of the blocks during the Q&A for more detail. This is also going to be posted to our website, and we'll be providing a link to the video. But you see on slide 14, the proposed design is from Holly Street to Euclid Avenue. And from this section, we are proposing 4 median tip extensions to provide pedestrian refuge to help shorten those crossing distances. This provides a safe place for you to wait for the light when we cross the street. We're proposing 1 new slip lane, 1 new bus boarding island, and we're closing the slip lane at Holly Street and also creating a new crosswalk at Holly Street to access the new bus boarding island that's being built at Euclid Avenue. The next page is from Euclid Avenue to Autumn Avenue. In this section, we are proposing 3 new bus boarding islands, 1 new crosswalk, and 1 new signalized intersection at Pine Street with new refuge islands to make that new crossing safer. Flip to the next page. This slide is from Autumn Avenue to Elder Lane. In this section, we are proposing 2 new bus boarding islands, a new closed slip lane eastbound at Lincoln Avenue, 1 reverse slip lane between Lincoln Avenue and Elder Lane, and new crosswalks and pedestrian ramps at the intersections. And the next page is from Elder Lane to Emerald Street. In this section, we're proposing 2 median tip extensions to help provide pedestrian refuge and shorten those crossing distances. We're also providing 1 new signalized intersection at Emerald Street to help you cross the street at a new access point. And you go to the next page, it's from Emerald Street to Conduit Avenue. Over here, we're proposing to close 2 slip lanes. We are proposing 2 concrete bus boarding islands with crosswalks to help you access them, as well as painted pedestrian spaces at 79th Street. These painted pedestrian spaces would add lots of new sidewalk space with refuge islands to help increase pedestrian space as well as shorten those crossing distances and allow more spaces for you to wait at the crosswalk in order to cross the street. So that's it for the block by block, and then Gabe will talk about some of the bus routing.
Hello again. So the nice part about this project here and the layout of Linden Boulevard with the slip lanes and whatnot is that the bus routing itself doesn't really have to change. B14, I'll go into more detail on this, is the only route that might have to be adjusted slightly. But with all the slip lanes, the buses, even though they'd be moving from the service road into the main road, they can still use those slip lanes to get out of the main road and then make their turns where they do now. So the difference would really just be where the stops are. It would be, those boarding island stops, as Dustin mentioned, and those would be much longer than the existing service road stops. So I know that, the 16 stops to 8 stops sounds like a lot, but some of the boarding islands are about as long as the distance between 2 of the service road stops, if that makes sense. They're like a couple hundred feet long, some of them. But just, to go over the bus routes that we're talking about here, I think I should have mentioned this earlier. We're talking about the B13, the B14, the B15, B20, the Q8, and also the BM5 Express bus. Not sure if anyone takes that, but that comes through here as well. And so you can see on the map here, again, this is page 19 of the presentation. These little crosses represent a pair of boarding island stops. So you have the boarding islands at Euclid, Preston, Elder, and then all the way over to 79th Street. So yeah, and if you're familiar with the B14, you'll notice this looks a little bit different. So I'm going to head to the next page.
So before you go to the next page, the 14, how is it going to affect the 14 route?
Oh, yeah, the next page is exactly that explanation. On page 20. So, yeah, on the previous page we had the proposed routing. So right now, it does this split where going east on Sutter, it goes all the way to Drew Street and then goes south and heads to Stanley in the postal facility. And in the northbound direction, it splits west. It comes up Elder, makes a left onto Linden Boulevard, and makes a right into Lincoln Avenue, and then turns left onto Sutter. And for the most part, we don't have these very wide splits of the directions. The Lincoln Avenue and Drew Street sections are about a quarter mile apart, and we're calling them the same bus route, which is not a great way to do that. So the plan here is to just have B14 run both ways on Elder between Stanley and Sutter. And so that would make it so that it wouldn't be on Linden at all, but it would have more manageable route for people. It also brings the southbound direction closer, over to pink houses and more where people are really living and doing business, I think, Elder. And so just a note about the bus stops there, so that the green crosses there are new stops. The stop pair on Elder between Linden and Sutter does not currently exist. There are no buses that go on that stretch of Elder. So those would be new bus stops, and those would just be regular, curbside pole bus stops. The stop pair south of Linden Boulevard, that actually does exist. It's just that the B14 doesn't currently stop there. So in this arrangement, the B14 would stop there. But yeah, it's a fairly small change, but it'll allow the bus lanes to work a lot better and make the service a little bit more manageable for people.
So it wouldn't make the left on Linden Boulevard?
It would not.
So it would go straight up?
Correct. It would go, it would go north from Stanley all the way to Sutter, and south, same thing, from Sutter all the way to Stanley. It would go on.
Thank you.
Is that more or less making sense what we want to do there? Okay. All right, I'll go back to Dustin. Thank you.
Thanks, Dave. All right, so on page 21, just a brief overview of the traffic analysis that we've done over the past year to determine the feasibility of the project and what we're going to present to the public to move forward. So there's a lot of words and jargon out here, but essentially what we've done over the past year is collect data at every single intersection within the project area. We've collected traffic counts, pedestrian counts, truck volumes, bus volumes, and put it into a model to simulate the effects of what the traffic would look like if we were to convert one travel lane into a bus lane in each direction. We analyzed the worst case scenario, so basically the peak, we call it the peak hour, the AM peak and the PM peak, the rush hour times, to see how bad it would get if we converted one lane of traffic into the bus lane. Just so that we can see the worst case scenario, what this would look like. The results were very promising. What we found is that the bus lanes on Linden Boulevard would not significantly affect traffic flow along this corridor. However, as with all of our projects, we will continue to monitor the project area to see what improvements we can make, if there are any areas of congestion, if there are any pinch points. We always monitor the project area to work with our traffic engineers to make sure that the signal timing is working properly with the new traffic flow. So, once we put in the project, we're going to continue to monitor and make sure that the traffic is moving. All right, so just the project timeline. This is on page 23. Right now, it's spring 2026. We are doing public engagement, presented to the CB5 Education Committee last month. We're here tonight to present to you all about this proposal. We're collecting feedback about the proposal and refine the project as necessary. We're going to continue to do site visits and collect data to better inform how we can improve this project and make it better. Late summer, early fall, we hope to begin implementing we will mostly be implementing the concrete construction because there is a lot of concrete to make those median tip extensions, those bus boarding lines at the bus stops, those bringing down the median to create new crosswalks. It's going to take a lot of work, so we'll get a head start in late summer, early fall. We expect the construction to conclude with the bus lanes being active in spring of next year, summer of next year. So this will involve repaving the roadway to fix the potholes, finishing project implementation, installing the roadway markings, and updating the signage. As I mentioned, after we put in the project, so this is like summer of 2027 and beyond, we're going to closely monitor the situation, see where further improvements can be made, identify areas that we can improve the signal timing to help improve the traffic flow. All right, that's it for the presentation. presentation. Thank you for having us. We're gonna have plenty of time for it.
What's the timeline for, the community feedback? It says spring 2026, so.
Yeah, so basically between now and, for the next few weeks, next few months, we're collecting feedback.
Few weeks or few months?
We're not starting until late summer, so I think, between now and late summer, we're collecting feedback on the public.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, and this is available. This will be available on our website. We'll provide the link as well.
And you can make comments on the website.
We'll collect comments through the community board and through Derek, who's the liaison for our project.
The reason why I asked is because you have Spring Creek Gardens, that's like 552 apartments back there. You have the pink houses, you have Linden. I think we should get input from those developments as well. I think we should have a meeting so that they can give their input as well, because a lot of the people back there, they don't come to the meetings, right? So we may have to take the meeting to them. We may have to see if we can maybe do something in the pink houses, or either Spring Creek Gardens, or either Linden Plazas. I don't know how big their community room is, but we need to get their buy-in and also get their feedback, because this may not even work for them. This is like, I live back there as well, right? So I can visualize what you're saying, but it's a lot of people back there. There's a whole lot of people back there. Like we have the meetings at the pink houses. Maybe we need to have a meeting with DOT coming out with the same presentation and allowing them to have input. So I look forward to working with you, to setting up a meeting in the next coming weeks. I know June is our last month, right? But between now and July, we need to have a meeting back there, so this way you can include that in your studies.
Yeah, well, we're really happy to do that. So we'll connect with you, and also we'll work with Derek Thomas and with Keith to identify dates and times.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I just have a question. With the new change for the bus stop moving from the service road down to the main street, does that mean now we're gonna have the red, bus lines where only the buses can go, so people that drive on that lane would, if they drive down that way?
So it's only one lane in each direction in the main line. But yes, so those, general traffic should be staying out of the bus lane.
I have a question. One question. From the look of the design, as far as the protection at the bus stop, I've been in an accident on Linden Boulevard in my past, so I feel that protecting the civilians of the neighborhood should be like a priority. So as far as like shelters, if you decide to put a shelter, like for rain, it needs to be surveillance under that shelter. And like as far as the fence and the design, you can have more protection, so cars won't jump off and hit the pedestrians. But the main thing is like if there's a shelter, to have it under surveillance, because we have a lot of older people who live in the community, and we're battling a lot of different things in the community. So we got people trying to get shelter, we got people trying to go to work, we got older people. So it's a lot to think about in that whole area where we have a bus stop.
So thank you for the feedback. Yeah, we'll take that back.
I just want to ask, piggybacking on what my friend here said, when you do create these bus stops on the main road, we know that just like with Haven Boulevard, you're not allowed to drive down that road, which was the purpose of creating that road so that the buses would move faster. But like he said, will you create shelters at each one of those bus stops for weather protection and also surveillance, like he said, for people who are underneath that shelter who don't want to get robbed or whatever. Some kind of surveillance also needs to be attached to those shelters. But are you developing and will you be building shelters at those bus stops?
Yeah, so we're definitely prioritizing shelters at every stop wherever feasible. We have to work with we have a vendor who does that. A lot of it is space constraints, so we're going to do that analysis and prioritize wherever we can. So that's definitely our highest priority to enhance the safety and comfort of the bus stop.
Okay, this is the last question, and then we have to go into our board business.
Super quick, because the buses will be. So just something that, if you will think about it, but because the buses will be in the main lane, the pedestrians coming from the sidewalk, crossing the service lane into the main lane to catch the bus, like if they're trying to rush, thinking about, the priority of cars also rushing, trying to catch the bus for the light. So I don't know if there's something we would like priority transit signals for the buses just to slow down the traffic and make it safe, or adjust these buses to stay a little bit longer to wait for the pedestrians to come. So just something to think about.
That's a great comment. So is that it for your presentation?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. We appreciate you coming, and we'll be speaking to you soon so that we have a meeting after that and then meeting later. Thank you all.
Thanks so much for having us.
Before we finish our board business, I see Freedom Minnow from Congressman Hakeem Jeffries' office, followed by Kyle Graham from Councilman Chris Banks' office.
Good evening, everyone. I bring greetings from Congressman Hakeem Jeffries, and it's always a pleasure to come and see folks. We've been working with each other, a dozen years? It's been quite some time. But I just wanted to share some important dates, and I'm not sure because I came late. June 8th, if you don't know, the urban village that is the empty lot that was next to Christian Cultural Center, the deadline was extended. It's not May 25th anymore. It's been extended to June 8th. So if you have anybody who's looking for housing and want to stay in East New York, that's a great way to do that. And the information is available on Housing Connects. The other thing I wanted to mention as well is June 13th, the Congressman's office will be hosting his annual U.S. Service Academy Information Session, which will be taking place at Thomas Jefferson Educational Campus from 12:30 to 2 p.m. So if you are a parent, educator, a coach, maybe you have a couple of younger leaders in your household or in your neighborhood, and you just want to make sure they know about opportunities on how to get a congressional nomination from their Congress member to either go to West Point, Naval Academy, Air Force Academy, Merchant Marine, or get a letter of recommendation for the U.S. Coast Guard. Please let them know about this. We are going to be sending an e-blast about it, and I've left this at the table in the upstairs in the back. Additionally, I've also left more information about how individuals can apply for the nominations, and that's also listed as well. And then lastly, actually two more things. Also on June 13th, concurrently while we're hosting the Service Academy, we're having our annual Constituent Services Fair. And so last year we had it at Maxwell High School. This year we're having it, a portion of the time will be allotted to do that as well. So if you have folks who are looking for employment opportunities, educational opportunities, social services, don't hesitate to attend, and it will be in the same location at Thomas Jefferson Educational Campus. And the flyers will be dropping, I believe, later this week. What's the date? It is the same date, June 13th. And then lastly, Juneteenth Jubilee. So Congressman Jeffries sponsors and also co-sponsors a number of events throughout his district. But the largest one that we're going to be having will be held at Kaiser Park in the Coney Island portion of his district. So everyone is welcome to attend. We've expanded it. It is the Juneteenth Jubilee and Youth Sports Day. So there's going to be a lot of activities for parents, for kids, lots of resources, food, music, and all of that stuff. So we've also left flyers at the back on the table and hope to see you there. Our office number is 718-373-0033. And again, my name is Frida Meadows. I am the Congressman's Director of Constituent Services, and I'm here to serve, so happy to help. Thank you.
We have a lot of chatter upstairs, and it is very distracting down here. If we could get all the board members to please move forward so that you can engage and participate in conducting board business down here toward the front. And if you must stay up there, if we can just kind of limit our conversation so that we can hear what the speakers are saying, please. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night, everybody. My name is Kyle. I'm the Councilmember Banks' Deputy Chief of Staff. And I'm just here to provide a couple updates. I'm going to start with some legislative updates on May 8th. So, basically, a little history. Last session, the council member introduced two pieces of legislation. One of it aimed at better communication whenever somebody files for a one-shot deal and is doing business, I guess, with HRA. And the second is anybody who goes and files their taxes, what he noticed was, when speaking to a business owner, people don't get a receipt, an itemized receipt. So he submitted legislation, and one went into effect May 8th. That was the HRA bill. So if you file for a one-shot deal, and you get monies back, instead of them sending it snail mail and you having to guess if you got approved or not, you will now get a text message, email notification, and a written notification. Also, the managing agent of the property in which you stay at will also be in the loop as well. So what that will do is it will cut down on the aggressive evictions that happens predominantly at like NYCHA developments, where we had a situation where Penward Lieutenant was kicked out falsely when a check was actually cut and on the way to pay their bill. Tomorrow, the tax preparers bill is going to go into effect, and how it works is you go, you get your taxes done, or you work with the accountant, you get an itemized receipt, you get verification via text, email, however you want that receipt of all the services rendered to you. So that's going to happen tomorrow. He will also do some social media pieces around that. So I encourage everybody to pay attention to his social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter as well. On June 2nd at 2 p.m., the council member who chairs public housing is going to have his executive budget hearing centered around public housing. If I'm not mistaken, it was yesterday, the mayor came out with his housing plan. And while the member agrees with the mayor's housing plan, in the grand scheme of things, there are still things that he has an issue with, such as privatizing public housing. He does not believe that we should continue to privatize public housing through the RAD PAC program. He's a staunch supporter in, preserving and protecting traditional Section 9. And he, in his statement, he called for that. And at his budget hearing, he'll continue to call for that. He's going to continue to urge the administration to take monies and invest in rehabs, invest in preserving Section 9, and put a moratorium on RAD PAC developments. Because obviously we have 4 RAD PAC developments in the district, and each development has had residents complain about the private developers coming in and not getting basic functions done when they got all this money from NYCHA, such as plumbing, the elevators at Penn Workman and Linden. Every day there's an issue, right? You talk about heating during the winter, Some people are getting heat in the summer and AC in the winter. You understand? So it makes no sense. And also, I don't know if you guys see the news article with News 12, but they talked about how snow shovelers from this past 2 snowstorms went out. We have about 50 folks in the district, one guy in particular, worked over 200 plus hours. He has not been made whole at all. They talked about how they lost his paperwork. They've talked about how, now they're nitpicking at, oh, well, you didn't, So the member is working with his colleagues. They're gonna send a letter to DSNY. They're also gonna work with city agencies to try to make everybody whole, try to bring awareness to this and make sure that this doesn't happen again going into, obviously, the next winter coming up. And then I see Sharon from Wholesome Family Network, the council member, he's gonna be partnering with her this Saturday on a women's conference and luncheon. That's gonna be at the Brooklyn Sports Club from 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. We encourage everybody to come register. The flyer has gone out on social media. June 13th, he's gonna have a homeowners conference and resource fair at the Church of God of East New York. That's from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. June 20th, he's gonna, again, partner with Sharon on a conversation with men at the Brooklyn Sports Club. That'll be from 12 to 3. And then June 27th from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. He's gonna have a whole adult resource fair. So we encourage everybody to show up. Guys, thank you so much. Have a great night. And I will see you guys next month.
Thank you. We have Jonathan Maribel from CCRB.
Good evening, everyone. Just very quickly, just going to share about, first off, my name is Jonathan Maribel. I'm from the Brooklyn Chamber of Commerce. Just wanted to share very briefly about this program that we've been doing since the pandemic called the New York City Small Business Resource Network. Basically, it's one-on-one business consultations. So if there's any business owners out there, we will work with you, have conversations with you, figure out what your needs are based on that conversation, and get you connected to those resources. So if that is of any interest, I have some flyers here. I also dropped some off in the back in English and Spanish. I have my contact as well. Thank you.
Thank you. We have 2 voting items. But before we do our voting items, I just want to make note that 2 of the 3 people that we voted off, Albert Scott and also Aura Cameron. Arissa, I'm sorry. Aura, I see you in the back. I'm sorry. I see you. Arissa Cameron and Albert Scott. We voted them off. They were put back on. And the behavior remains the same. They are still not present. So, with that being said, they will be voted off again. And we're gonna make room for somebody who wanna be here. We voted unanimously as a unit. It is on YouTube. It was 6 months that they wasn't attending meetings, and they were put back on board. The behavior remains the same. They are not here. They are not serious. So we're gonna vote them off again. With that being said, before we go into the 2 items that we have to vote on, I just want to bring to everybody's attention that East New York LPC and the Community Board is having a cleanup day on June 5th. at Trey Whitfield School. So we love for everyone to come out, or a few of you to come out on June 5th from 9 to 1 p.m. There's flyers in the back. Just make note of that. So with that being said, Ms. Nydia Bonifant, could you come up and speak about the liquor license application?
Good evening, everybody. Buenas tardes a todos. I'm Nydia Bonifant, co-chair of the Quality of Life and Safety Committee. We have 6 items, thank you, for voting. Number 1 is Brooklyn Bites and Deli Grill Corporation, new application located at 3216 Atlantic Avenue. It's for wine, beer, and cider. And we were anonymous and we voted yes. So I would like to bring them into the floor for voting. Brooklyn Bites, Deli number 1, and Grill Corporation. Yeah, we put them all together? Okay. Just so we will put them all together for voting. Next one is the Olive Garden renewal application and 505 Gateway Drive, liquor, wine, and beer, and cider. Voting number 3, Dylon Deli and Grocery Corporation, new application. 3210 Fulton Street, wine, beer, and cider. Number 4, BB Bar Restaurant, Johnny Livon, new application. 955 Pennsylvania Avenue, liquor, wine, beer, and cider. And number 5, Soul Sport Bar, Cafe, and Grill, new and temp permit. 3220 Fulton Street, liquor, wine, beer, and cider. We only voting for those. Up to 5. Number 6, we decline, as is stated on the flyer.
Yeah, I want to give some feedback on why number 6 was not voted up. I know all 5 of the other ones was approved, but number 6 was not.
Yes. Number 6 is Lavera's Lounge Corporation, Bugalo Bar and Lounge. It has an explanation on the yellow area, and then in the back, where I will give a small detail about it. The owner didn't come, and the representative didn't have any, couldn't answer the questions. There was a dead situation that happened there, and the police gave a negative report. Therefore, we voted against it, just to make it short.
So, Isaiah Thomas made the motion that we entertain a motion to accept the committee's recommendation for the first 5 that Ms. Nydia Bonifant voted. Ms. Nydia Bonifant told us about, and it was seconded by Bill Johnson. So I'm going to do unanimous vote. All in favor of approving the 5 businesses that Ms. Bonifant read to us, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any discussion? So the ayes have it.
Thank you.
We're going to accept the committee's report a recommendation for the reasons that was stated, which was a death at the establishment, no picture of the 30-day notice to the community was submitted. Questionable hours of the operation. It says that they were selling alcohol up until 4 a.m. And the rep didn't know or stated the owner was in the process of selling. So I'm going to ask a unanimous vote for that. All in favor? No, I need somebody who can function. Thank you. Second by Ms. Act. All in favor? Aye. Any nays? Any objections? Any questions? So, you have them. Thank you. We have one more.
It's just for knowledge, please.
Say that again.
How long is separate?
Thank you. We have one more item. This is an item that came to us from the Assemblywoman, Ms. Nikki Lucas, and also Assemblyman Delon Martin. It's a bill, Apple 103-23, at the Executive Board meeting on Thursday, the 22nd. Eric Delon. I said Eric Delon. We spoke about this at our Executive Board meeting on the 22nd. And right, the 22nd, Thursday the 22nd, and we convened a virtual on Tuesday after the holiday, so that this way we could discuss it. The bill is in everyone's folder. Pretty much, it is an act to amend the administrative code of the city of New York in relations to allowing commuter vans to accept hails from prospective passengers in the street. So the only thing that they're asking us to vote on is the law enforcement part. They don't want people to get summonses, and they don't want civil penalties. We flushed this out already, so I'm gonna ask that everyone see the bill and that we accept the bill. I'll entertain a motion to accept the bill as it stands.
I make a motion to accept the bill as it stands.
Ms. Roy Johnson, make the motion, second by Ms. Lydia Bonifant. Is there any questions to the motion? Okay, so we're doing unanimous vote as well. All in favor of this bill being approved, say aye. Aye. Any abstentions? Any questions? No. The ayes have it. Thank you very much. That concludes the one no vote from. Okay, from the act. One no vote. Fully noted. We're going to forego the district manager's report, is on file. Mine as well. Is there any old business? New business? You have a report? Come forward.
Good night. My name is Natasha Sherry Perez, and I am one of the co-chairs of the education committee. Okay. All on the table, but on June 20th, it's a Saturday, we're having our annual education and youth resource fair. We want to prepare our families and our students for the summer and for the school year. So we'll be giving away book bags full of supplies. We're gonna give away things for the kids to have fun over the summer, like balls and ropes and stuff like that. And so we need your help. If anybody would like to donate, if anybody would like to table, if anybody would like to be a part of our planning committee, let me know. I will be up top. Grab a flyer and please, please, please support help. My phone number is on here, so is my co-chair, Ellen Pugh. So please get in touch with us. Your support will be greatly and kindly appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. That concludes the meeting tonight. Thank you all for coming out. We have some food in the back. Please make sure that you, can you hear me? Please make sure that you get some food as you leave. Thank you very much for coming out.